crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Stefania, and today I'm going to be testing out this crochet kit that I picked up a couple weeks ago. I had planned on making this video last week, but as you might hear in my voice, I've been getting over a bit of a cold. But I woke up with a bit more energy today, and I thought this would be a nice chill project to make for you all. It's from the Nitty Critters collection, and they call it a pouch pal, but it's this little frog friend, as you can see. I picked this kit up a couple weeks ago when I was shopping for market supplies. He was in the clearance section along with a couple of other kits, including a bunny, the ugliest dog I've ever seen, and some Easter eggs. I only paid €2.50 for this kit, but let's open it up and see what's in here. So indeed, we've got some recycled cotton yarn, this little packet with some black yarn, a stitch marker, and a metal needle, which is nice, a 2.5mm crochet hook, some stuffing, and the instructions. Just looking over the instructions, they seem pretty clear and straightforward. I won't be sharing the instructions for this pattern because it's not mine to share, but just looking it over, it looks to be accurate, which if you've followed other creators who test projects is not always the case. This one does explain how to make a magic ring and includes some photos during the steps and especially during the assembly process. So I think this will be a fun pattern to follow. So let's get started. I've got the body of our little frog finished. First impressions, the yarn is pretty nice, although it does split pretty easily, especially with the small hook. This is a smaller hook than I'm used to using. The grip on the handle was actually pretty nice, although on the very tip of the hook it's pretty rough. It looks like it wasn't sanded or something like that. So that combined with how easily the yarn split, I had a little bit of difficulty at times. But overall, it was manageable, especially because I went into it knowing it wasn't going to be perfect. The stuffing, I have quite a lot left. Looking through the rest of the instructions, it says to not stuff the eyes or the arms and legs. So I have some stuffing for another project in the future. Although this stuffing is, I don't know, it's kind of pellety. You can see it kind of comes apart in these little balls, which some people might like, but for me it's not my favorite texture of stuffing to handle. Although once it's in the piece, you can't really feel the texture anyways, so it works well enough. The pattern directions were pretty straightforward. It's a pretty standard pattern in terms of creating a circle, increasing, building the shape, decreasing a bit, and then decreasing at the very end. Again, I won't get into specifics of what the pattern exactly is, but you can imagine what it takes to make such like a potato-y shape. I was getting nervous towards the end, worrying if I would have enough yarn for the arms and legs and eyes, but it looks like that'll be enough, so let's keep going and see what we end up with. Pieces done now. I've got 2 arms, 2 eyes, and 2 legs. The pattern was still pretty straightforward. My only critique is that with the legs, at the very end it says to fasten off and leave a tail for sewing, but as you can see, that point is at the tip of the toe. So I left an extra long tail. I figured I could sew it through the leg and then still have enough tail to sew it onto the body. I just thought that was one part of the instruction that was a little weird. But other than that, the pattern was very easy to follow. Now all that's left is the assembly, where I'll take all of these pieces and attach them to the body. last thing our little frog friend needs is some eyes and a nice little smile. And just like that, our little frog is complete. Overall, I was really pleasantly surprised with this kit. The pattern was easy to follow, and there was even enough yarn left over to make something else. The only negatives I noticed were, like I mentioned, the hook having a rough patch at the tip of it, which encouraged the yarn to split more even though it already wanted to split on its own, and the stuffing, which wasn't my personal favorite, but I guess is not too much of a negative. While I only paid €2.50 for this kit, I was able to peel back the clearance tag and see that it's suggested to be retailed at €7 and is normally sold at TK Maxx at €4.50. But honestly, at any of those price points, I can see it being pretty much worth that. Although I don't see myself making this pattern again, the frog was pretty cute, and like I said, the pattern was easy to follow. The needle that was included for the sewing and embroidery is a quality needle that I'll definitely be using in the future, and if I can manage to smooth out the tip of the hook, I'll also be using this as well. Overall, if I were to give this kit a rating out of 5, I think I would give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I only deducted a star because of the hook issue and because the yarn split so easily. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you saw this kit, would you give it a try? If you liked this type of video, leave a thumbs up. And if you want to support my channel, make sure you're subscribed and you have your post notifications turned on. I'm aiming to release a new video every week, from crochet tutorials, check-in videos, and other craft content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!